The right back position across 2025 for the Canadian men's national team only saw three players play at the position across the year, with Richie Laryea, Nico Segura, and Alistair Johnston. Three players, and we're going to rank them, break them down on their performances across the year solely at the right back position. But before we jump into the rankings and my third Canadian right back of 2025, jump into the comments, let me know your rankings from 3 to 1, your thoughts on the series, and smash a like and hit that sub button, guys, and let's jump into my third Canadian right back of 2025. And this is an obvious one, as it's Richie Laryea, who only appeared at his primary position at right back two occasions across the year, having one start, as Richie Laryea, of course, had to abandon his starting role, his position, and his primary spot at right back very early in 2025 to be deployed at left back to cover for the injured Alphonso Davies and Sam Adekupi, which is why Richie Laryea never got a true chance at his regular role, his regular position, and to make those overlaps that he loves on the right-hand side, bombing on past Tajon Buchanan, that he has done excellently well throughout his time at the Canadian national team. And he's had to do that on the left-hand flank instead of the right-hand flank. And only having two appearances and one start and a very small sample size at right back across 2025, Richie Laryea finds himself as my third Canadian right back in 2025. And it's time for my second Canadian right back of the year. It's time for my second Canadian right back of 2025, and this was a no-brainer in Alistair Johnston. The usual number one at right back for Canada in any given year was harmed by injuries across 2025 and was only able to make 5 appearances and 4 starts for the Canadian men's national team across the year. Those appearances coming in the Nations League as well as Gold Cup. And unfortunately for Alistair Johnston, never really stood out throughout either tournament. Never really had a great Alistair Johnston performance in either of the tournament matches. Yes, he stood out against the United States men's national team, but that came at left back when he had to switch and cover for Alphonso Davies. None of the games against Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, or even Curacao were true Alistair Johnston masterclasses like we know he can produce. Alistair Johnston will be coming back and will be coming back in a stronger vein of form, in a performance, and will truly be hitting the heights in 2026 when he recovers fully from his injury. But unfortunately, that injury held him back in 2025, and we didn't see the best Alistair Johnston throughout the year, but it gave us an opportunity to see a new breakout star in my number one Canadian right back of 2025. It's time for my number one Canadian right back of 2025 and one of the easiest rankings of the series with Nico Segura. Nico Segura had an incredible year at right back for the Canadian men's national team. And what has to be remembered is this isn't his primary position. Nico Segura is a central midfielder who plays a defensive midfielder as well as the box-to-box role. But he is a very versatile footballer who can play right midfield, right wing, as well as right back. And he truly put it on show in 2025 for the Canadian men's national team. When the team went down with major injuries, seeing dilemmas across the pitch at fullback, where Canada had two injuries to Sam Adekupi and Alphonso Davies, where Richie Laryea had to shift over and play at left back, soon Alistair Johnston went down with a year-ending injury. But who stepped up to the plate? It was Nico Segura, who had an incredible year. 9 starts, 11 appearances, 1 man of the match, as well as scoring 2 goals and having an assist, all from the right back on its own. And this was a player who scored some beautiful team goals, getting involved in the play further up the pitch and showing what he can do further up front with this Canadian men's national team. And when he can play in his out-and-out midfielding role, this will be a dangerous player for the Canadian men's national team. But Nico Segura had some matches where he truly shone through, particularly against Romania as well against Honduras, where he scored both his goals. But we have to start with the Honduras game. This was a player who was never expected to have a major year for the Canadian men's national team at right back, set to be an understudy throughout the year to Alistair Johnston and in the midfield behind Stefan Eustaquio. But once he had that chance, he took it. And he truly took it at home, the first game of the Gold Cup against Honduras, a major rivalry game for the Canadian men's national team, and Nico Sigor stepped up to the plate. In BC, in his home province, he put on a clinic, having an 8.8 match rating, scoring a beautiful team goal, and showing his presence further up the football pitch. But it's also been his intelligence in the match, not just offensively, but defensively. He proved it against Honduras, and he continues to prove it every single time he starts and plays for the Canadian men's national team. His defensive work rate is phenomenal. His ability to read the ball, read passages of play, and be able to snuff out attacks against some of the best attackers in the world against Luis Diaz. Nico Sigor has been phenomenal in 2025 for the Canadian men's national team. And you just have to go to the Romania match in European football for the Canadian men's national team, a place where Canada was expected to have a tough game. But Nico Sigor and the Canadian men's national team managed a 3-0 victory, playing Romania off the park, pressing them, playing quality football, being smart in possession, and Nico Sigor started and finished one of the goals in the build-up, managing to start the play in his own half, following the run into the edge of the 18, and finishing the ball beautifully into the back of the Romanian goal. A great strike, a great piece of build-up from the Canadian men's national team that was started and capped off by Nico Sigor. And he has shown his quality, playing in a position that isn't truly his, that isn't his primary role. And he has proved that his intelligence on the ball, his defensive work rate, how good he is in a challenge, as well, being able to score goals and run into the box late is Stefan Eustaquio-esque. And Nico Sigor being able to bring that into the midfield in due time will be a major add to this Canadian men's national team. But Nico Sigor is by far the Canadian men's national team right back of 2025. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, your rankings, your thoughts on the new series. Make sure to smash that like button, hit that sub button, guys, as we keep the content flowing on the channel. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.